top European teams and top team in the world in Team Liquid. Of course, I'm not alone today. My name is Mark. Joining me this evening, as always, is Pitmuckle. What a guy. And Purge. Purge, how do you feel about this best of 3? And who do you think is going to come out on top, just looking at it right now?
Well, I think Team Liquid's a little bit more likely to win the set, but Mama's Boys has been playing very well recently, so I think it could go both ways. There is going to be no Meepo in here. Again, Weehaw is standing in for Mama's Boys, so the speculation about him roster swapping continues.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I don't know if I think he's just doing this because he can play for Mama's Boys, because they, of course, Secret are not actually in Captain's Draft. Obviously, he's played a lot of games for Mama's Boys, so yeah, it is a bit strange. But I'm not even going to begin to speculate, because God knows I don't know anything. But they also actually added a couple of newer members, at least for the standings for now. They have Nikwa here instead of Yapsors and Milan, of course, from Mind City, as well as New Logic Gaming, which, of course, just sort of disbanded recently, interestingly enough. So they have a smorgasbord of players, I would say, here for Mama's Boys, and this makes it all the more interesting. And it's going to be tough going up against this stable roster that is Liquid Purge.
And it's not too surprising to see Mama's Boys grab Phoenix. I'm just thinking back to like Alliance of Star Ladder. They would pick Phoenix every single game. That was a couple Star Ladders ago, the one in Romania that I casted. But Nikwa played Phoenix every single game pretty much. So not too surprising to see the hero. It's had some decent success in Captain's Draft just because it provides good team fight. Has some trouble in the lane, which is why it's not picked in Captain's Draft usually. Captain's mode. But I still think it's a decent hero.
It's interesting because it's picked up by a couple of teams that other teams will just forget about it completely. He provides very good team fight, as you mentioned, but the ability to bring it down with a couple of heroes, especially like a Shadow Fiend, is pretty nice to have. The right click, being able to shoot through those attacks to destroy, which of course 1 is 5, making the egg very susceptible to dying if you don't put it in a good spot. And that really is what it comes down to, is getting that egg in a good spot. But we'll see if that's going to be the case. They'll probably send it off lane. We saw support Phoenix coming out from Mama's Boys. Interestingly enough, Yapsor played it a couple of days ago, and I thought he did very well with it. It doesn't look like that'll be the case this time around, though. They have the Bristleback, interestingly enough, plus the Shadow Shaman from Mama's Boys, as Liquid will pick up the Tusk and the Shadow Fiend.
So right now their push is pretty solid, man. Bristleback in the front can hit towers, there'll be wards down as well, and if things get really bad, they can disable and use Phoenix ult. And I think Bristle's kind of a good solution against heroes like Tide, Slark, and Tusk. You know, he can turn his back if things get a little dangerous, and buy him some extra survivability to allow his team to back him up. But they need maybe a bit more carry potential to come through to cover him on the backside. And to do that, what do they grab? There's not that many carries left over. Yeah, I kind of like the Deuce idea, but they go for Brood and Sky. Broodmother can 1v1 a lot of these heroes. It's not amazing versus Tidehunter though, so I think Team Liquid probably can push that into a 1v1, and then it'll be Bristleback, Shadow Shaman, Skywrath tri-lane. So very high kill potential, very aggressive early tri-lane, and then maybe Phoenix in a 1v1 somewhere else, or maybe some dual lanes as well, because Skywrath Phoenix is also a possibility. Might be really good.
There's a lot of damage coming up from Mama's Boys, a lot of not only burst damage, but damage that comes out over time as well, which is nice. And Team Liquid, they still need to support for themselves. There's a lot left in the pool. Treant, CM, Lich, AA, for example, and of course the big tanky ogre himself. Just to think about Captain's Draft, we can predict all we want, but it takes like half a second for this draft to continue and move forward, which is really interesting. It's just like, oh, we usually have so much time to talk about this. No, it's like 20 seconds, heroes are picked, we're into the game, that's it, let's go. And it is the CM picked up for Team Liquid.
Alright, I don't know if CM is the solution though. They just don't have very many good Broodmother counters. Locking Broodmother down is going to be a bit tough. I guess they have Snowball into Shards, which can be a good way with Pounce, but maybe that's the only solid one, and that kind of requires you to go all in on the kill, since it's going to require a lot of mana and a dust. So they can get some kills on the Broodmother. I think this could be pretty good for Liquid. Going into the mid to super late game, Team Liquid clearly has an advantage since they have more carry potential. So due to their decent team fight and their okay ganking, if they can just go even with Mama's Boys, I think they're going to have a really easy victory here. Pycat playing the Broodmother a bit interestingly. Nikwa is going to be playing Phoenix.
Sox is playing at Bristleback, but I feel like that, I don't know. Because so they have Massacre playing the offlane role for them for a period of time here, a week or two or something like that. But now they have a couple of support players. Weehaw is playing the Skywrath Mage. This is a mid Skywrath, which I've seen occasionally. It's more of a pub thing. I am a huge fan of it. Your levels come out very quickly. You can get arcane boots very early on, and you get so much damage coming through from your abilities. But we'll see if it's going to be okay for as they will have the Shadow Fiend more than likely going mid for Fata.
I actually played mid Skywrath decently often in pubs whenever I'm with players that are lower MMR than me, just because it can actually scale very well in terms of carry potential. Now, it's not amazing this game because there's a Slark. Slark is kind of a good counter to Sky. Sky's armor is so low that it's pretty easy for your opponents to focus you if they do start focusing you. So it's going to be a bit hard to play it as a mid role, but you can definitely out-pressure the Shadow Fiend at level 1. Yeah. You can definitely trade more advantageously. And by the time you hit 6, any gank is going to result in a kill on just about any hero. The only one that might be able to avoid ganks is going to be Slark or Tide.
Right. The Ancient Seal will come out, of course, and that is going to be a big issue, so you have to really worry about the Dark Pact, obviously, for Slark, but if he doesn't get it off, Silence, and then he's going to get a concussive shot, and all of a sudden he's going to die. But yeah, there is a lot of damage coming out from this Skywrath Mage, especially even at level 1, with just 1 point in Arcane Bolt, because he has that Null Talisman. This is not going to be an easy lane. Spots early on here. They will try to secure the top rune spot. Mind Control will come in with 2 tangos. He's also got the tango, or rather 2 mangoes, 2 tangos to the south. Now they're going to get caught there.
Oh my god.
Weeha's about to fall. They can't quite get him. They woke up to the high ground. They're going to save the last hit. He's going to Fairy Fire, and instead of killing him, they'll take a bit longer, but the last right click from Kuroki will get the job done. They do not, however, secure the bounty as it was picked up, I believe, by Pycat as he heads back towards that top lane.
That was the god tier Ice Shards, man. Like, that's the one here. They can't have dying like that. First blood goes to him, and now he's going to have to lane slightly down. Shadow Fiend's got about 100 gold from that assist. He didn't get that much ahead, so I guess overall it's not going to hurt Weehaw here in the mid lane too much since he did buy out, but Kuroki getting that first blood means his early ganks just might be that much more devastating.
Yeah, that's a huge pickup for him, and Drax will roam down bottom to help out the sort of off-lane Metalman Slark. I mean, he is the off-lane, but I think they just want to make sure the matchup for the Tide is against this Broodmother, even though it's not going to be that great for himself, but we'll see how this goes. Kuroki's going to go ahead and juggle up, no surprise there. He went for the Frostbite. He's going to go ahead and clear it. He'll have that level 2, which is probably going to be, could be a point in that Arcane, or we'll see if it's actually going to be the case, or if he's going to go for a Crystal Nova. We'll wait and see what he gets up for his next ability.
I don't think he'll gank just yet. Maybe wait till Shadow Fiend hits 3 or something like that. It's a little bit hard to gank otherwise.
Bottom lane, it looks like there's a fight breaking out. Saxa, they get off the shackles, and Temple Man can't chase further, and he's getting the Salphus as well, but it's going to get canceled as the right click comes through from Jirax. Saxa will back up and away, and he'll stay alive. He doesn't even have Bristleback, but still a good attempt at top lane. Mind Control getting zoned out by Nico, or rather vice versa, and Pycat continues to go to work and get last hits. So this bottom lane is probably going to be the most interesting lane here, with top lane being the second most interesting as terms of fights and what's going to break out next. But Mind Control might be in trouble. Icarus Dive, there's going to be the Fire Spirits as well, and Pycat has the Spawn Spiderlings, and that is a dead Mind Control as Pycat will get the kill. He actually did a lot of damage to both Pycat and Niqua before he went down, but still, nonetheless, he'll die, and Pycat will save up happy with what he's accomplished.
It's smart that they did a dual lane versus the Tide, because in a 1v1, the Bristle just doesn't, or I'm sorry, the Tide just doesn't really die. He just reduces the spider damage, but having a second hero, and that hero doing largely magic damage is really beneficial. Phoenix also has low armor, but he can't get punished by the Tide, really. Yeah, sure, Anchor Smash can hit him and stuff like that, but it's a very small component of the damage overall, and the amount of times he can just kite that is going to be easy. Almost dies to Crystal Maiden here.
Yeah, Niqua was getting caught. He didn't quite have his Icarus Dive when he was looking for that rune spot. Kuroki gets in there, Frostbites up, and then forces him back pretty much to the base, but he'll be fine. This will leave, of course, the Tide in a 1v1 for now, when he actually is up to 11 last hits. So those are going to be inflated because of the Spiderlings, but he's still doing very well for himself, all things considered, after that death.
Weird that he doesn't have Kraken Shell. I wonder if that would have kept him alive in the last fight.
Right.
Doesn't have a Stout Shield either, so getting that early Kraken Shell is usually pretty important, but he actually grabbed Gush here.
Yeah, that's interesting. Ice Shards, they had the Invis rune for Jirax. They're going to snowball it, and Weehaw might be in trouble yet again. Body Box coming through. They need 2 more right clicks. Can they get the job done? Actually, just the one for Fata. I didn't know he was going to have the damage to get it, but he did. That last right click. No raise necessary, and he'll get the kill. A huge one.
Just the problem with the mid Skywrath, it's so easy to gank, and they've got a Tusk and a CM. Either of those heroes can set up these kills for Shadow Fiend. And once he gets his minus armor aura, man, it's going to be mid-game, and the Skywrath Mage is going to die to like 3 right clicks. It's such a dangerous place to be in.
I mean, the Skywrath's not even having that great of a time currently. He's had his 10 last hits to the 12 of the Shadow Fiend. Like, This is before he's even getting up to that gank potential. He's not getting many last hits. Sure, he can still get kills once he hits a good level 6 or something like that, but that thought down bottom, ice shards flying through. Soxa will actually avoid it. He's going to turn back around, pop up some coil sprays. He's got level 2, and if they get some stacks of this up, they're going to be taking a lot of damage, and so they will back away, saying, I don't want to fight into that. Bristleback, you're very disgusting. You're basically, don't touch us. That'll be that.
I don't know if he's that much of a threat. Anyways, they both have magic wands. Both Jerax and with Tomoman can get some distance between him if he does go aggressive. So I see Liquid definitely winning this off lane here for them. Mid lane, they need to get a kill on the Shadow Fiend, otherwise I think they're going to lose this game. Weehaw needs to get some advantage out of his lane, and right now he's losing it.
Yeah. What does he have? A bottle, a null tally, and a stick. Meanwhile, Nikwa is looking to get out as the Icarus dives away from Jerax, who's going to work. Now we'll drop up the Fire Spirits and try to jungle here. Nikwa is level 3. He's actually not doing that bad considering he's in a dual lane. Sometimes you'll see Phoenixes stuck at level 1 because they're getting zoned out so heavily, but that's not the case this game. He is level 3, so he's getting a little bit of experience across the map purge.
They maybe could do a gank on Tidehunter top, but I think they would need Scarith Mage or a third hero.
Okay.
He's gonna find Jerax. Yeah, we have level 5 here. He can do some damage, but
another good ice shards. This will keep him alive, and maybe if they had another arcane bolt plus right click in the ancient seal, he might have gone down, but he'll be able to TP away so Drax gets out in time. Back top, there is 31 last hits for mind control. Again, a lot of this comes down to the spiderlings, but that is still gold that you are feeding away. He has his arcane boots already. He's level 6. This is a great time for mind control. He's having an excellent lane, and on top of that, Fada back mid as well as up to 24 last hits. Very good start for Liquid here.
they need boots on Scarith Mage. They need him to hit 6, then they need him to start rotating, I think, like almost instantly. Put somebody that's under-leveled on mid, like Shadow Shaman, let him lane, and then give Scarith Mage around to ganking. And in a lot of cases, mid-Sky is going to get under-leveled, but that's because he doesn't have very good farming because he's a single-target hero.
Milan, they get the smoke up. There's the snowball. They're going to get off a frostbite here momentarily. The Dark Pack will fly. They don't even need it. They can frostbite Nico if they want to. Oh, it's on cooldown, actually. Christinova, I thought he didn't use it there, but here comes the Quill Sprays. It's actually a lot of damage coming out from both of the heroes, Saxa as well as Nico. Jerax getting caught with Icarus dive, trying to run away. Fire Spirit's on cooldown for 25. He's going to stick up good Ice Shard block again. He'll salve up. It'll get canceled by the creep wave, however, and he is in deep trouble. He's going to try to run back to the tower. But Man's also low in HP as well, but it looks like Jerax will fall to maybe 1 or 2 more Quill Sprays. He will snowball and actually head towards the north, but it looks like the last Quill Spray will go, and Saxa will get this kill. Meanwhile, Fata picks up what I imagine to be a solo kill on the Scarith Mage at the top rune spot, which is huge for him as Weehawk continues to struggle here in this game.
Don't get a kill on the Shadow Fiend. By the point he hits about 7, his damage is just way higher than you. Especially, he basically has a double damage all the time. And if you have 0 armor, you can't fight against that. The only way to do it is to constantly sit at like 600 range and spam arcane bolts and try to keep him kited there. It's the only way that you can beat an SF, and it's very clear that those first couple early roams from the Tusk are just too much.
I mean, that level 1 death, how big of an impact did that have on this game, Purge? How big did that level 1 death?
It had a small, it didn't matter that much. It helped Kuroki, but Kuroki didn't translate that into Scarith death, so that wasn't a big deal. It's more that there's an invis on Tusk, and Tusk then came mid and got the kill.
Yeah, we just saw that recently, and Scarith will die yet again, but now there's a smoke coming out, this one from Shadow Shaman, and Nico is nearby as well with Icarus dive at the right. Maybe they can bring him down the concussive shot. There's the Ancient Seal, there's Nubitus Shackles, Mystic Flare, and finally, they will get themselves a much-needed kill with Nico picking up the last hit. Very good roaming gank, but they have to commit 3 heroes to that said kill.
They could have done it with 2, I think. They just need Shackles plus Scarith Mage, they can kill any hero, so they got to keep doing ganks like that. That's the way to do it. So any good rotations from Shadow Shaman is going to completely change this game here. It's still a gank.
It's a big pickup that will get the Skywrath up to about 500 gold. Still not at Arcanes or even close. No wand, nothing like that. But I want to focus on Mind Control because he's got 59 last hits. He's currently 2nd in net worth. He's got Arcanes. He's actually almost got enough money for either a full mech or a full Blink Dagger, one of the two. So he's doing very well for himself here. Is he going to build mech or is he going to build blank? What do you think in this game?
I'm sorry, on Ty, I'm guessing?
Ty, yeah.
I think mech is, they should just build mech. They're worried about a team that is more suited to early game lineup. It's better for them to go for early game items then. And they have decent damage, but not amazing damage on Mama's Boy. So if you can keep somebody alive during...
Oh, Sox are going to get caught. Matuma Man's going to find the kill. He has to pop the Shadow Dance. Nico's going to come in with the Sun Ray. Not quite on the mark. Now it is, as he's doing a lot of damage to Matuma Man. He'll try to regen up here momentarily, but the Shadow Dance will only do so much. He jukes it of tree line and down towards the bottom area. Might be able to TP away now. Not on cooldown. He's looking for Niqua. The Dark Pack will fly. Doesn't actually get the damage off Milan's getting clarity up as well. Now the Snowball will come through. That is to get further away for J-Rax. And that's going to be it. Matuma Man could TP away right now, but that was a sick juke to stay alive. He'll buy his belt of strength into the treads here momentarily, but that was pretty...
Oh, nice play there in the mid lane. Sox are going for the TP. This could be a fodder kill. Now
the Requiem coming out. Sox will take a bit of damage. Bonza gets up the race as well. Kuroki's going to go back in. Doesn't have any spells off cooldown. Second race will hit Sox up, but he's going to back away. He's going to continue to bottle up and try to get tanky. Pop the Quill Sprays to keep his Warpath stacks up. Might go into Kuroki, but Kuroki instead will go on in with Frostbite. Crystal Nova. Raze is about to fly, but a great silence from Weehaw, saving the life of his teammate Soxa. And he'll get out.
Yeah, the way they TP'd that was really cool. They TP'd Weehaw in the trees so that they couldn't see it, and they TP'd somebody really aggressively. SF goes for the ulti, but Weehaw finishes his TP, does the silence, and then has two heroes in good position. But they didn't feel completely comfortable going up out of there, and that's basically just because Bristol's not that strong yet. Bristol doesn't actually become strong as a carry until he's tanky enough that he doesn't have to worry too much about nukes, and he's only got 1 point in Bristol back. It's only reducing back damage by 16%. Once he gets 4 points in here, he's going to be at a much better place, but right now he doesn't really have very good disables. He doesn't have very good damage, and he can't even tank, so it's looking like it's going to be a really rough game for Mom's Boys.
Yeah, agreed. And along that same line, what do you think Bristleback's going to pick up in terms of items? Is it going to be that, well, maybe not even early Vanguard anymore, but is it going to be the Vanguard, or perhaps he goes for a different item? What do you think?
I just don't know, man, because there's so many really good movement lockdowns that Liquid have. They've got Snowball, Ice Shards, and they've got Pounce. So he's not going to be able to move that fast no matter what happens. Vanguard is going to damage block, but once a Shadow Fiend gets his minus armor, or a Vanguard's not even going to do that much.
Yeah, it's not going to provide as much as they would like. They're going to lose this tier 1 tower in this bottom lane. Milan has the Serpent Wards at the ready, and they were kind of rotating in with Sox and Niqua, but they were not ready to fight. No level 6 for this Phoenix just yet. And you can see already the Tidehunter top lane has got not only his level 6, he's got his level 9, he's got Ravage, a mech is in stash. And so if they want to fight soon for Liquid, they've just got about the items to do so. The drum is going to be picked up here for Fatsa. They've got the mech as we talked about, and they're in a really good spot.
Yeah, Mind Control's basically just never left the top lane, but you got to do this to counteract the Brood sometimes. It's been completely worth it for them so far.
She's got no tower damage done, which I guess isn't that surprising considering who she's up against. We'll hold that thought. Bottom lane, Fada's going to get caught. There's the Fire Spirits going through. He's going to try to hightail it out of there. Viscous Nizugu will go. Sun Rays up as well, doing some decent damage. He's pretty tanky with the Bracer, but still getting caught. Now jumping in, the Pounce will come through. There's going to be the Icarus side. Requiem gets off. It's a double Requiem as he dies, goes down. Fatsa will provide the kill for Niqua, but now it's hightailing it out there for Liquid as they're going to get chased down by Soxa. Viscous Nizugu continues to get stacked up on Kuroki. He's got Crystal Nova. The Frostbite will come out, and this chase will conclude with just the 2 kills going both sides.
The chase is really limited so far. They did get the Shadow Fiend kill. I think that's completely worth it for Mama's Boys. And yeah, they got about a 40 gold advantage out of that one. Most of the advantage going to Bristol actually with 341 gold. So that's actually a really big early engagement for Mama's Boys. They over-rotated it slightly, but I think they needed to kill the Shadow Fiend.
And the Shadow Fiend, it's caught out. That's the, I think, no, it's the second death for him this game. That's pretty important. That they needed that kill, and they'll find it. I think the Scarith was involved in that. He's now got his Arcanes up. He's starting to get a little bit back in favor, but he's 2 levels down behind the Shadow Fiend. His net worth-wise is below halfway mark, and this game is going to continue to stay hard for Mama's Boys until they can find a good team fight. They need level 6 on the Phoenix, and he's not quite there yet. They should give him perhaps solo experience bid, and they're not really doing that.
Pretty interesting build on Shadow Fiend here. He's opted for Treads, Drums, Aquila. Very early game focus, but I think it's a pretty smart item because it counters 2 things. First of all, it gets you out of the Scarith ulti since you can make yourself run faster, and also it counters the Phoenix Egg. As soon as the Phoenix Egg comes out, if you can amp everybody's attack speed by 30%, that egg's just going to die right away.
Yeah.
So I really like the early choice. Plus he doesn't need mech since the Tidehunter already has it. So I think he's got a great item choice here.
Sentry's going to get placed down. Pycat will be dusted as well, and he now can't go into the true line. The freezing field will fly, and Kuroki and Fatsa will find themselves a nice pickoff, but here we go. A gang's going to come in on the J-Rex. There's the silence up, the Arcane Bolt, the Mystic Flare as well. J-Rex is 1 Arcane Bolt from death, and Weeha's looking to throw that bad boy up, and he can't quite get it off in time. That could have been a kill, but he'll stay alive because of the stick charge coming up from Drex. Well played. Now he's going to head back home, but this will be tower presence getting pushed down as the Serpent Wards will come out, and top lane is getting pushed as well from Fox, Mind Control, and Kuroki, and they will find this tier 1 tower top lane for sure.
Getting mid is a little bit better, but they have already lost their mid tower, so they're kind of just equaling things a bit here. Saksa does have a vitality booster, so very likely he will be going Vanguard, probably into SNY, pretty common Bristle build. But in the meantime, Liquid's moving in position to take this team fight as they retreat. They're ready to go.
Here's the pincer maneuver. Nikwo does not have his level 6 hit. The Ravage will fly. It's on to 3. Weehaw gets obliterated by the Anchor Smash coming through. They still have Gush. Nikwo will Icarus dive away. They have Gush to use. He's going to get across the tree line. Trying to TP away. Will not make it. The Gush comes through. Gets a great double kill for Mind Control. And that was an absolutely beautiful Ravage coming out from Mind Control, as you mentioned.
Yeah, it was so good, man. They saw that coming. It took them forever to take the tier 1, and 3 heroes just absolutely wrecked 3 of Mama's boys. Big advantage is going to lead them to taking Roche as well, and now Tide is at level 12 at 14 minutes. He's 2-1-2. He's basically got blink money on top of his mech. He is insanely farmed already.
Yep. Second in net worth, GPM of almost 500, which you never see for a Tide Hunter, really. This will leave Matama Man and Fox go ahead and Roche alone. Looks like Matama Man's kind of low, but he's fine. Fox is just going to work with his right click. As Rapride coming in, Kuroki's going to get silenced up. Won't go down, though. Here comes Drax coming through with the snowball. Now the freezing field, and Weehaw did not sign up to be that cold. He'll go down to a big kill. Top lane, there's going to be Mind Control getting ganked by Saksa, but the TP rotation will come through, and it will be Fossa to jump in and Bristleback and not get this kill and secure it, as now they've also picked up a Blink Dagger from Mataba Man on the Slark, who's level 11.
I think Pycat's going to Radiance here. Kind of an interesting build, but I guess it kind of works too. Oh my god, that was so much money.
That's a lot of gold. Holy crap.
That was amazing.
Oh boy, Nikwo. Ooh, they just missed the pounce. Good Icarus dive, but the snowball will still come through the Ice Shards Walrus Punch. Gets off the Fire Spirits. Can't Icarus dive, he just used it. The Supernova will go, and I'm sure he's just going to die. He does a lot of damage to Drax and Matama Man. If he had gotten the TP rotation of 2 earlier, might have actually done a little bit of damage, gotten a kill, but no. He'll go down with his Supernova being used, and it's down for 97 seconds as well.
It's really unfortunate for him. He did quite a bit of damage here. Oh, they will find Matoma Man.
Yeah, there's going to be the Mystic Flare. He does have that Aegis, and he will bounce out, not even using that ability, or that item, rather. And,
yeah, Mystic Flare is really hard to use by yourself. But with just 1 point and slow, it's not uncommon to see Mystic Flares like that. It's just not what it used to be. It doesn't really work that great as a solo ganker. You kind of have to get an Atos before Skywrath Mage ends up being an effective mid hero. It's one of the downsides to playing mid Skywrath is that you're so reliant on another hero being with you. If you could still solo kill on this hero, you'd be a great mid, but you can't do it as easily. You're not going to slow very much. The slow got nerfed, and the amount of time that Mystic Flare does its damage has basically been doubled.
This is going to dissuade people from playing crazier mids here in Captain Draft, which makes me really sad. I feel like, oh, we're not going to see a mid, Skywrath mid roster or something like that anymore because of how this game has gone for Weehaw, but maybe we'll see some crazier stuff here in game number 2, but for now, it's going pretty heavily in favor of Liquid. You have almost a 10,000 net worth advantage, 10,000 experience lead as well. Guarding groups were just picked up for Mind Control, and he's going to pick up next to Hooded Finds. He says, screw it, I don't even need a Blink Dagger. I'm just going to go for Pipe of Insight later on down the road, and then you have no team fight. Sox is going to get gushed up, no problem there. He'll walk away with his Bristleback in tow. His Vanguard is done, his Crimson Guard looks to be next, and we'll see how that turns out.
Crimson Guard's pretty cool idea, I guess. It is gonna. There's a lot of medium-sized strike clicks coming out of Liquid, and also when you're up against a minus armor hero like Shadow Fiend, damage block is pretty effective against it since it goes through before the damage block or before the minus armor is added in. So it's gonna block a decent amount of damage here. It is gonna limit their carry potential a bit, though. And that's another problem that they're having.
Yeah. That is unfortunate. That seems their safe laner. He's not really doing much in terms of the damage department. Pycat's still sitting at 5,000 gold, waiting to buy that item. He's really thinking about it, really saving it up. Now the drum charge pop. They almost catch Weehaw with the ice shards. They'll still head through the tree line to try to find him. Jirax, he's got that snowball. He's a little too far away, however, so he can't quite catch him yet. And instead they'll head back to working out of this tier 2 tower mid as Pycat continues to creep cut top lane.
Is he ever going to buy an item?
I don't know, man. I absolutely have no idea.
He can clearly afford the Radiance if he wants it. He gets Shadow Shaman on the side there. That was a Blink Slark. So
I was going to say something, JJ, but I thought you had caught it, so that's my bad. Yeah, my bad. Listen, don't yell at me, JJ. Come on. Oh no, chat will T-tours you. What will we ever do, JJ?
Top tower is under attack.
TP in from Jerax is looking for Pycat. He'll get away. I mean, Pycat's done a good job of surviving. He's level 13. He's got 1 kill and 1 death. He's the highest person in net worth for Mama's Boys. I just don't know what he's gonna buy, because you said Radiance, but honestly, I have no idea. He's saving up so much gold at this point. He just like go freaking.
Well, considering that the most expensive single component item in the game is a Sacred Relic, I think it's pretty safe to say that he can afford any component of what he's interested in purchasing.
He's certainly good.
He doesn't even have a TP scroll. I have no idea. Is Pycat just playing like AFK farming simulator?
There it is. He's bought a full Necro 3.
I don't know if that's the solution. I don't know, man.
Would you have like Radianced more? Because I know I would have.
I don't know if it's better. I mean, it would allow him to lane against the Tide a bit better, but...
Uh-oh. Good snowball. Pycat was getting caught out. He actually popped his ultimate for this. There's the snowball coming through, and yeah, they don't have dust. It looks like they might have some on Kuroki. They do, in fact, but Pycat should be able to get away. Uh-oh, no, he was caught ice shards as well as the frozen sigil. Drex is right on top of him. I don't know if he knows this. Now he will not see him head further into the tree line. Oh my god, those ice shards hit as well.
Mean, I almost wonder if he can see, like, he literally predicted him the whole way. That was insane. I wonder
that was
almost
nuts.
You can see the sigil animation on him or something.
The little outline of like crystals on the hero or something like that. I know what you're talking about. Well, hold that thought. There's a fight that's about to break out. Jerax is gonna get silenced up. Shackle's long range. Arcane Bolt BKB's popped by Fate. He says, listen, you want to go toe to toe? I'm ready to fight. I'm a big bad boy, ready to go to work for Shadow Fiend. But they're gonna pop the drum. There's the Veil going in as well. Ravage is at the ready. Milan will drop the Serpent Wards, but he'll die because of it. Dominating spree. Matuppa Man blinks it. He'll find Weehaw as well. And look at that damage. Matuppa Man will get that kill. No Aegis left ready to go. Nikwa had a Supernova still getting chased down. Now on the backside, Pycat looking for Kuroki. It's going to find him here when he's pops the Necro 3. Maybe not. Doing a lot of damage with those races, but back to the fray over on the other side. And it looks like the TP came through and Nikwa survived, actually. Which is pretty impressive.
Ravaged, but he chose not to Ravage, so basically lets him live. Pycat does have his Necro finally, Brown Boots as well, so he's going to be able to push and farm even faster. It's the closest thing you can get to a Midas, really. You send these into the jungle, and you can farm with them. You can also focus on taking the tower a bit faster this way. But I wonder if a better build might have been a Dagon E-Blade build, actually, on the Brood, because they already have a Scarith Mage, so their burst is pretty focused. If they do a silence on somebody, and he's got a Dagon on top of that, they could get a kill. And it would allow him to maybe kill, like, Crystal Mage.
Sucks. Your Crimson Guard is not going to save you now. Or maybe it will. Last right quick. Now, just kidding. Bots would make a kill spree. There's a good Hex coming in from Milan, but it was not enough to save his ally. The Matuppa Man will blink and go straight for Weehaw again. He finds himself in the pounds. Mystic Flare is used, but the Veil comes out as it happens. Nikwa will get hit twice, then have to Icarus dive away. Now they're diving base, and this looks to be perhaps the beginning of the end here for Mama's Boys in game number 1. Fate going to work here up in the high grade, clearing at the creep wave. Veil, or rather not Veil, but the pipe is now down, and this tier 3 tower is, well, it's dead, pretty much.
Slark is just like the captain's draft to carry, man. He's so good against so many different heroes. He absolutely is wrecking this mid Skyreth. It's just like I said. He jumps on your mid Skyreth and he kills them because their Skyreth has no armor. Skyreth is not very effective against heroes that are super tanky and do physical damage. So, and he just keeps blinking and killing people.
Yep. He's being very aggressive. He's got 2 ultimate orbs for the beginnings of his Scotty. They will buy back onto Nikwa, and it looks like maybe like we didn't want to back away, but instead they just throw up the Ravage. There's the Veil up as well. They get off the Supernova in time. Mind Control's hexed up. It's a pretty good Supernova, but it is going to fall almost immediately. The Freezing Field will fly for Kuroki. Requiem will go, and the team fight is too damn much. 4 dead. There it is. And Mama's Boys will tap out here in game number 1. Liquid absolutely trounce Mama's Boys here, giving them only 5 kills away to the other side of the map. Very impressive stuff from Team Liquid here.
They won every single lane in this game, with the exception of maybe Brood, but I think Tide farmed actually ridiculously fast. So did Brood, but he got more out of it. He translates better to team fights, so it's obviously better to take equal farm on a Tide as